Hello. Are you wondering how to cope with crazy time, whether it's the current crisis going on right now with the global pandemic or other crises in your life? Well, I have 5 great tips to help you today so that you can deal with the crisis in a way that feels good to you. Because I think we'd all like to cope with things rather than going into bad habits or picking up unhealthy addictions. So today I'm going to share with you a few ways that you can cope with the crisis and actually feel more empowered and resilient, because I believe that you can do this. Comment below yes if you think you can do this too, or you can comment no if you think you can't do it, and then hopefully by the end of the video you'll think yes, I definitely can do this. All right, so who am I? I am Rachel Stravelli. I'm an inner wisdom teacher and coach. I help people connect to the wisdom within and the wisdom of the natural world. I make videos. Sometimes they're about gardening and lifestyle because I've been an organic gardening teacher for a number of years, and I've been an organic gardener myself for 20 years. Sometimes the videos are of a personal nature like this, where we're looking at coping skills, dealing with anxiety. All right, but I know you're watching this because you're like, I need to cope. Tell me how to cope, Rachel. Okay, so the number one thing that I want you to start with is I want you to focus on what is important to you. And we might need to even temporarily narrow our focus down to the immediate moment, maybe even just to the immediate day. And you may want to get out a piece of paper and pen and write it down. I would even recommend beyond like getting out your phone or computer and typing it there, because there is actually something different that happens in our brain when we write things down with pen and paper or pencil and paper. So you might even want to start at the top of the paper and write what is important to me, or what do I value, or what's the most important thing. And if you don't want to do this with pen and paper, then I would find a quiet time when you can just sit or stand and think about this for a few minutes. You might find the most important thing to you right now is just surviving. And you might say, you know what, I'm in survival mode. I need to not get angry at my kids or my coworkers or my spouse or my elderly parents who are living with me, or my young kids who are living with me, or my middle-aged, whoever it is that's in your environment. Or you might also feel like there's a lot of people out in the world that you're angry about because of their various actions. So whatever's the most immediate thing for you to focus on, it's okay to say, I'm in survival mode and I need to just get through the day. Or I need to find a way to maintain my sanity, maybe get a workout in and eat something kind of healthy-ish. Whatever level of value what is important to you right now, that's where you are, and that's important. What's important to you right now might be different than what's important to me. And I want this to be a time when, as much as possible, you can be compassionate and kind and gentle with yourself. Because let's say I was entering into a crisis and then I'm like, oh, and I'm also going to start a new workout routine in this crisis, and I'm going to learn how to communicate better with my husband, and I'm going to potty train my son. And literally these are all things that I have thought in the last week. And then there's another part of me that's like, wait a minute, Rachel, maybe we should just get through the day without freaking out. Maybe that's important enough. And so whatever level of position you're in, whether you're able to take on something new or you're like, no, I just need to maintain. I'm not thriving. I'm not blossoming. I'm not expanding. I am just getting things done. Either one is fine. And I just want to reiterate that you being compassionate toward yourself where you are in this place is so essential. So identify where you are and what's most important to you. And then you may want to set a reminder on your phone or put something on a Post-it note or write it on your bathroom mirror so that throughout the day you can be reminded, okay, that's what's most important to me. That's what I'm going to redirect myself to. If you feel comfortable sharing below what's most important to you in this time, go ahead and put that in the comments below because I would love to know. All right, the second thing that I want you to make time in your day for, that's really going to help you cope with this crisis, is to find time for your emotions. Find a time in the day when you can actually let yourself feel your emotions. Because if you're going through a crisis, there are going to be emotions coming up. Some of them might be anger. Some of them might be sad. You might have happy moments too. There's going to be a range of emotions, but you might also be in a situation where expressing those emotions is not really acceptable all of the time. I have another video that I'll link that's all about completing the stress response and relieving emotions that are kind of pent up inside, and that may be really helpful for you. You may want to pick a time during the day when you'll get a journal and journal, or you'll go for a walk and you'll feel things. Yesterday I took 5 minutes and I went in the bedroom and cried, because I knew that I was reaching like a really tense emotional breaking point. And I thought, if I cry, because I really wanted to cry, and I told my husband, he watched the kids while I just went away and I cried for a few minutes. And after that, I thought, okay, I cried, I can handle this. And that's actually one of the ways of completing the stress response that I have in the video about that. Sometimes what I have found too is when we feel our emotions, even if they feel like they're really overwhelming, they're really too big, they're really too scary, as in, I don't know if I can handle this emotion. When I let myself feel it, I get to a place of calm, and rationally, I can handle things more. I can see what's happening. I can look at the situation and think, oh, I know what to do here. I don't always have an epiphany, but it gives me that calm, clear, balanced place to come from. All right, the third thing that I'm going to ask you to do, and this might be a struggle for some of you, but I really want you to experiment with this. Challenge yourself to not watch and consume media and the news constantly. Sometimes the first few days of a crisis, that's what you want to do. And for some of us, initially we think, oh, this soothes the part of me, the anxiety that wants to know what's going on, that always wants to be prepared, that always wants to be on the edge. But if you're consistently watching the news a lot, and the crisis is ongoing, you're going to have yourself in a state of hypervigilance, even fight or flight, and that is not going to be helpful for you in the long run, because as this goes on, it's going to drain you. You're going to be feeling even more stress because of the constant onslaught of information. I also have videos about digital detox. Now, you may not want to do a full digital detox at this point, but you may want to set some parameters for yourself. For example, you might say, all right, after 8 o'clock in the evening, no more news. Or, from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m., no news, no scrolling, no checking in with so-and-so. Did you hear about this? Did you hear about that? Just give yourself some structure so that there is a part of your day in which you have the mental and emotional space that you're not fully embedded in the crisis. And for each of us, we're going to have to figure out where our balance lies with that. Typically, when it's not like a global crisis situation going on, I will take at least one full day of the weekend where I don't go on media at all. And I stay off of all social media. I go offline totally the entire day. And that's one thing that really gives me a lot of peace. Some people feel like they can't do that. I want you to experiment with what level of involvement feels good for you, but also still lets you stay connected to the information that you feel like is necessary. All right, number 4, find support. Lean on the people who you can lean on in this time. That may be the people who you live with, or it may not be. Identify the people who make you feel good, who you have positive interactions with, who you feel supported by, whether it's somebody you actually know in person or whether it's like a YouTube channel like mine. Maybe you don't know me in person, but maybe you find this helpful. There are YouTubers I watch when I feel like I'm going through a stressful time, but I need some help, and it's not a great time to call my dad or call a friend. So you may even want to make a list of 5 people who you know, who you can text or call or reach out to, write a letter, however you want to reach them, to connect with them, to give you a sense of connection to others. So there are people who you can talk to and you can support one another. You may also want to list 1 or 2 people who you may not personally know, but you can listen to their podcast or watch their YouTube video or read a book, so that you remember that you're not alone in this, that you have support, that other people care about you, that other people love you, and that we will get through this. Okay, that's really important. There's a common expression about you're the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And so in this time, if you want to be feeling support and that you have good coping mechanisms, then reach out to the 5 people who you find bring out the best in you, who always help you to feel the things that you want to think about the things that you want to think about. Okay, and the 5th one that I'm going to share is self-care. So this may look in different ways during this coronavirus pandemic than it does in other times. So you're going to want to identify what are the things that you need to do. I've been identifying getting enough sleep is always good self-care. And lately I haven't been doing it as much, but I'm reorienting and getting myself into bed earlier and earlier so that I can do that. That's really good self-care for me. Your self-care, you might need a set freak out time every day where you go in a room and you cry, or you drive in your car and you scream, or you do something else. The complete stress response video has a whole bunch of things that gives you ideas of what you can do that are self-care things that'll help you relieve your stress. You know, maybe it's a nice cup of tea in the morning or in the evening where you're not looking at the news and you're just listening to the birds. Time in nature is always good self-care for me. Maybe self-care means you clean out a closet you've meant to clean out. Maybe it means you give yourself a foot massage. Play around with and experiment what it is for you that is going to help you to care for yourself, because as we know, our ability to respond to and cope to situations is often impacted on how we feel. And in times of high stress and high anxiety and high confusion and uncertainty, I find that it's the more that we can care for ourselves and eat the nutritious meals and exercise and drink lots of water, spend time in nature, connect with loved ones, those types of self-care, prayer or meditation, if that's helpful for you. And if you've never done it, this might be a good time to try it out. Doing the things that care for yourself so that as new stimuli, new information, new events come about that you need to respond to, you've been doing the best that you can to care for you so that you can respond to those situations. All right, I would love to know which one of the 5 tips you think would help you most. Like, which one are you going to try as your coping mechanism? I am still offering free 30-minute strategy calls. There's a link below if you want to sign up for one of those. And it doesn't have to be strategy that's like high level strategic. It can just be you talking to me about, I need to have you help me get through the day. Come up with ways to help me get through the day, Rachel. So click that link below. It'll be in below where you can sign up to do a 30-minute session and connect with me. Otherwise, I really wish you the best. You are doing the best that you can in this situation. And remember, reach out for help and connect with others, care for yourself, focus on what's important, give yourself a break from media and news, and you will get through this crisis. All right, take care. Bye.